Hello there folks, Elita Legionarii here. Today I'll be bringing you another 4v4 battle for Total War Attila. I've been playing a little bit of Attila lately with the SwedishLandSknekt, and both of us have actually been having quite a lot of fun because we really have not really touched up on Attila apart from when it first came out, and we sort of just took this huge break away from it. But we've been doing a couple of really nice big 3v3s, 4v4s, and having a lot of fun. And it's quite good because we don't really know a heap about Attila, so it's kind of nice to just jump on and sort of just play the game and just sort of work out from pure strategy, not from all this prior knowledge with the units and the factions as a whole. And this was a 4v4 that we were going to do this as another live commentary, but as we were playing it, we were so focused on what we were doing that we just weren't commentating enough. So I just decided to cancel that live commentary and just do it as a replay. And it probably, in all honesty, was a better battle than the battle I uploaded as a live commentary the other day. And the reason I'm uploading this battle now is because Attila's, being the most recent Total War game, is subject to being patched or updated, which means all these replays would become invalid or corrupt and thus won't play back as they were. So I need to record these Attila battles and get them up fairly quickly before that kind of potentially could happen. So this was a 4v4. It was myself, the SwedishLandSknekt, his mate VegasMcSwagger, and this fella here, Der Kaiser. This guy was very interesting as an ally. Then our opponents are here. So Swedes took the Ostrogothic Kingdom. This guy took the Huns. Vegas took the Sassanid Empire and took the Eastern Roman Empires. Our opponents are the Saxons, Franks, Visigoths, and Vandals. So let's load it up and I'll show you. So here's my the Eastern Roman Empire. I'll wait until it loads and show you in screen or in game, because that'll just be easier. Because I'm not 100% familiar with all the units here. I could probably name all of my units there, but off the top, it's better to be sure. It was really, really good. It was very, very tight, very close. Enjoyed it. It definitely gets me into wanting to play some more Attila out there. I like to be very cavalry aggressive when I play. Anyway, this is the map here. It's a pretty nice map in all honesty. I like this. It's got forest on our side, but it's kind of like it's like a road that's running up through the middle of the map here, like so, and it sort of starts high up here and slopes down through here. But both sides have got a bit of a hill edge if they stay at their side. This side, our opponents are probably a little bit higher on higher ground, but we have more cover in the woodlands. So it's quite an interesting map. I like it. I really do. It's a nice map. A map that I would hopefully remember that we saved it because we could use it again. Anyway, I'm the yellow. Now again, I complained about this in the live commentary. I really hate how in Attila, when you do these battles with allies, they don't have distinguishing faction colours. They're just, your allies are blue, you're yellow, and the enemy is red. It's stupid. It makes it much harder to work out who the hell is who in the battle. What's yours and what's the enemy's, and blah blah blah. What's yours, or what's one of your allies and what's another ally. It's really, really annoying. And I think that's a step backwards. There are little things like that in Attila that I think are just slackness, pure slackness on CA's part. Why they got rid of the unit banners and colours for different factions, which they've had all the way through the Total War series for the last 15, 16, 17 years, I simply don't understand it, and it's stupid. I can understand perhaps minimising the UI on the map with like no banners and just using these like swords for swordsmen and bows for bows and spears for spears and cavalry symbols and stuff. I can understand that, but actually getting rid of different colours for different factions is stupid. Anyway, enough of my waffling. On the left is the MEHANNYK player. If you look there, you can see the little symbol there as I hover over the units. You can see the faction symbol. So this is the MEHANNYK player here. He's on the left. His army consists of these chosen UR warriors. These are friggin' awesome swordsmen. To be honest, I was a little bit shocked when I first played this game to realise how damn good the Huns infantry is, because the Huns are known for their cavalry, and if we remember Barbarian Invasion, their infantry was pure crap there, but the cavalry was very good. Whereas the cavalry's good here, as it should be with the Huns, but the infantry is also very good, so I believe the Huns would be a very powerful faction. I don't know what's power faction and what's not in Attila, I really don't know, but the Huns, I would say, are probably up there. They look like they've got a very diverse build. He's got 4 of these archers, rather. I'd say they look to be a fairly decent sort of archer, if you ask me. Good missile damage, some pretty good stats there. I'd say they're a good archer unit all round. And then he's got, let's see, 2 of these Hunnic Devil Cav, which are, Hunnic Devil Archers, which are obviously horse archers, and I believe they're probably some of the very best horse archers. They're a pretty damn good horse archer. And then he's got Hunnic Warlord there for his general, and then hidden in the woods he's got these Hunnic Devil Cav, which are a very good melee cav unit. Again, the Huns are a really nice cavalry power, as they should be. I deployed... No, he's also got a couple of these Ava Horde, which are, I think, a lighter horse archer unit, basically, but still very effective. I deployed next to him with the Eastern Roman Empire. I've got 2 units of Eastern Auxilia Palatina, which are these guys here. Rather nice looking spear unit, if you ask me. All the units look great. I've got a couple of those screening, and then I've got 3 units of Elite Ballistari. Crossbows, at least in all my experiences in Attila, tend to kick everyone's ass unless the archers get into a better position. I find that crossbows absolutely just clock up kills. They're awesome units, so that's why I've bought 3 of them. And then for cavalry, I've got a pretty strong and heavily upgraded cavalry contingent, because cavalry is by far the most dominant force in Attila. I have 3 units of Equite Cataphractari. No, I'm thinking of the wrong units here. It's just Cataphractari. Sorry, they look awesome too. I gotta say, I love that look. Then I have there is a third one here somewhere. Where is it? It's in there somewhere. So I got 3 of them, and then I had, there it is over there. I believe I had 5 units of Tagmata cavalry, which is extremely good heavy cavalry, or heavy. It says medium melee cavalry, but it's pretty heavy if you ask me. It was very OP on the original release, but I believe it was fixed, but it's still extremely tough. Some of the best melee type cavalry in this game. Very, very good. Then I have, for infantry, I believe it was 6 units of Eastern Armoured Legio. I believe it was 6 of them. And then I've got a Magister Militum as my general unit. I like this as a good general unit. Good mobility and good strength. I like it. Then there's a SwedishLandSknekt. Now he's using, I believe, the Ostrogothic Kingdom. This is actually a different faction from the Ostrogoths themselves. It's different again. It's more Roman in influence. I believe it's meant to represent sort of that time when the Ostrogoths sort of took on, probably after their sort of conquest of Roman lands, and they took on a more Roman kind of approach to things at times, or that type of thing. So he's got 4 spear veterans. Then he's got, let's see, a whole bunch of these just plain regular veterans, which are sort of intermixed with some of my units here. I think he's got about 5 or 6 of those. Then he's got, I believe it is, couple of noble Goth lancers for shock cav. Then some of these Skole, which are a Roman sort of influence. There's the Commies, which are the general's unit. Then he's got noble horsemen, so a pretty strong cavalry contingent there. And he might have some. I already talked about his spears. I think he's got archers here as well somewhere. There's Elite Sagittarii, which are a archer unit, bow unit. It's a nice one too. Then we've got what's his name? VegasMcSwagger. He's got, I believe it was 5 units of Immortals. Then he's got, let's see, 4 units of Sogdian warriors, 5 units of Kurdish archers. His general is, of course, a Sparbid, which is pretty typical of Sassanid Empire. And then he's got 5 of the extremely powerful shock cavalry, the guy in Avspar. I believe this is the best shock cavalry in the game. However, I wouldn't just get shock cavalry because it's very weak against fighting other cavalry. That's why I usually bring a mixture of shock and melee, which is what Swedes has done as well. If I would have been him, I would have probably bought mounted warriors or the camel Klibinari or something like that to go with the guy in Avspar, rather than just going with all of those shock cavalry. But he knows what he's doing, I guess. Apparent here is, I believe this might be the Visigoth player. Actually, I think I'll just start because this is going to take ages. but I might put it on slow motion. He's got a couple of light slingers, some of these Gardini cavalry. It looks like they're heavy. They're skirmisher cav. Interesting. I don't think skirmisher cav are that useful in Attila. I'm not sure. They probably are, but they're probably just a bit hard to use. He's got a Gothic general, a couple of noble Goth lancers, Gothic Palatina defectors. So these are like Roman style units that have defected to the Goths, which would have happened. Then he's got some Germanic Spearmasters, and then Thracian Oathsworns. These guys are pretty beasty two-handed units, very dangerous if they get their charge off, but very vulnerable to missiles. They're kind of like the just general sort of Thracian style units in the base game. Then through the middle here we have I believe this is a Swaby player, or the Swabians. He's got a whole crap load of these noble Swabian swordsmen. I believe that is 8 of them. Then he's got, it looks like 5 Germanic archers. Then, hold up, wait a minute. Have I got that right? Yeah, then he's got 6 noble Alani cavalry and a Vandal warlord. I'm getting confused here. It's the Vandal player, actually. This might be the Vandal player. And then this guy's the... Yeah, this is the Vandals, sorry. This guy, yeah, this is the Vandals. Yeah, it's the Vandals there. That's his army. And then we have these... This is the Franks. Franks, these are like sort of axe units. They were really good in the original Barbarian invasion. He's got 4 units of elite Germanic archers. His general unit is a Germanic noble. Then he's got some Germanic warband, an axe heerban on the flanks, and then he's got a centre of elite sword heerban, and he's got some of those... Where are they? I know they're here somewhere. Royal Anstrutenones. I don't know quite how to pronounce it. It's a very good heavy sword infantry though, very strong barbarian style sword infantry, so you know it's reliable. And this guy, he wasn't very good for his allies. He just sort of sat back in the woods for a lot of the battle. He's playing as the Saxons. He's got these elite Dugoth spearmen. I like the name, it sounds cool. Then he's got these elite Nordic warriors, I believe, most of those, and then he's got Nordic bowmen, warhounds, elite Saxon javelins, and he's probably got cav too. I'm not really worried about their skirmish because I know the Saxons are not particularly strong there. So at this early stage of the battle, it was easy enough to communicate with Swedes and VegasMcSwagger, but this guy here on my left, I was trying to communicate with him because if you look, I don't have the drawing tools, bollocks, I always forget about it, but if you look, the terrain's a bit higher and more flat and even for us here, whereas down here, fighting would be a little bit uphill and harder to make a push on this side. So what I was suggesting was that Vegas and Swedes play a more defensive holding role on this side, while myself and the MEHANNYK player push this flank a little bit. Considering that this guy was hidden back in the woods, we couldn't see him, so we didn't know exactly where he was, but we knew this flank was weaker, or his opponent was back somewhere. So I wanted this guy to attack, and he sort of does, but he doesn't do it full on. He attacks with a few skirmish, but doesn't actually push in and push up, which was rather annoying, to be honest, because I thought we had an opportunity, because we could have overwhelmed this guy with numbers, because this guy was quite far back. But anyway, the action's sort of taking place over here on VegasMcSwagger's side. He's getting his Kurdish archers into a missile duel here with these Visigoth slingers. He's obviously going to win there because he's got way more men and his archers are much, much better. We really do have a very good skirmishing position here, so we're going to push up and try and use that now. We're screening our units with our missile units with spears. Now, I'm not going to target his elite Germanic archers. I want to target his units directly in front of me. I make a wee bit of a blunder here. I get too close, and my lines get a bit disorganised, but I want to try and target, especially these lighter units here, these axes on the flank. I saw an opportunity perhaps just to make a quick cav strike here with my Tugmata cav against his infantry. I know that'll do a lot of damage, but he's just got his spears up in time to intercept me. Now I get too close here, and as you can see, I get javelins in and I lose 15 Tugmata cav there, so you've got to be very careful of that, losing men like that. But I've got my Ballistari up now, and I'm going to start opening up. Already you can see this unit's been cut down by 17 men. But I need to swap to this target probably here because it's got its back turned to me and I need to get rid of those lighter units. But I'm focusing fire on this unit and I'm having pretty good effect. This one here is under a lot more concentrated fire and I didn't use it quite as well. But it's already chopped this unit here down to 96 men, so it's going quite well. If you look down here, VegasMcSwagger has pushed his men around onto his flank there. And he's just skirmishing away and he's easily won his skirmish duel. Over here on the far side, my Hunnish ally has managed to rout one of these Sacra Francica Cav. I think it's a shock Cav actually. But I really want him to push more because there's a lot of room for us to push up around here. And this guy's actually, because this guy's back here and not supporting him, this guy's had to split his army on two sides. So I thought I could pressure from the front and he could pressure from the side. We could knock him out quick. But this guy just wouldn't move up, which was annoying, to be honest. Here I see this. Now this might have been a bait for me, but I've considered it worth going for because I see one of my Cataphractarian to see if I can kill his general, because sacrificing one shock cav to kill his general would be worth it. And I take a crap load of hits from these axes he's throwing at me, but his general just lost half its men, and I just got 43 kills here, and he ended up killing a bunch of his own guys with his javelins here. But I am probably going to lose that cav. You've got to be very careful about making charges like that, because shock cavalry is obviously very, very vulnerable to missile hits. Missiles. He sends his Warhounds forward here, so I had to pull back. This was a good move on his part. He kind of distracted me there. I didn't even notice that. But I saw one of his swordsmen was forward again, so I wanted to pull my cav back. I made a quick strike on it, and as you can see, just one little quick strike knocks it down to 60 men, so you can really nail infantry with shock cavalry, and just even melee cavalry does just as, not quite as well, but it can take more of a beating, so it's safer to do it with melee cav perhaps, but it doesn't do quite as much damage. But suffice to say, infantry really gets hammered by good cavalry charges. He's trying to do the same to me, but my spears managed to intercept him here, which is great if I try and take him out. But he's done quite a lot of damage to my my crossbow units, and I only really have this one left, so that didn't work out too well, but I've still managed to do a lot of damage, and these archers are up here supporting, which is going nice. Down on the opposite flank, VegasMcSwagger I think is trying to do much the same with his guy in Aspar, but this guy's using spears to back himself up, and he's going into shield wall and holding a defensive formation while he's throwing Peeler from units in the back, which is countering the shock cav. Very nice. Over here I see another opportunity to push up here with my shock cavalry, I believe it was. No, it's my Tugmata cav, but I don't push forward. I got this unit to rout, so that's one sword unit down, and his other sword units have all taken all sorts of damage. This one's down to 75, this one's down to 92, this one's down to 79, so he's losing quite a lot of men. I see another opportunity to push forward here. Now, I was probably a bit gamey here going for this, but this Tugmata cav takes a crap load of shots, but I am going to destroy this, but it's probably not worth it considering how much damage I'm going to take, but it's going to kill that axe here barn. But it does provide a good distraction here where his men are thinner, and I push up through the centre, and I'm going to be able to destroy this not destroy it, but severely damage it, and I'm going to be able to wreck this unit here as well. So he's lost a crap load of infantry. As you can see, two of his infantry have completely wavered. I've lost a bit of cav, but overall I've done quite well. But I'm just going to pause it now so I can collect on the battlefield. So these quick cav strikes have really thinned out my opponent's infantry. Now I've lost a bit of cav, probably a couple of cav units, which is a wee bit risky, but given how much infantry he's losing, it allows me to charge in with my numbers here, and because this guy's backed up here and not supporting, it gives my opponent the opportunity to flank, which is what I wanted him to do, but he wouldn't do it, which was annoying. But even so, I've destroyed about 3 or 4 infantry units between missile fire and cavalry charges at the cost of about 2 cavalry units. Actually, it's about 5 infantry units. So I'm going to go into this infantry battle with superior numbers. And he's also distracted by this attack on the flank. If we look down on the opposite flank, you can see that the Kurdish archers are doing quite well. Concentrated fire is working quite well for them. VegasMcSwagger is bringing up his spears. Now he needs to use his swords here, because he needs his spears to cover his cav, because he's not got melee cavalry. But Swedes is making a nice move here. He's sending melee cavalry to back him up. But then again, there's all this cavalry on the flank here as well. But as you can see here, these sword units, these Sogdian warriors are completely exposed, and they are going to take an absolute hammering. Let's just see how many men he loses on the charge here. Yeah, look at that. He lost like 60, 50 odd men there, and these guys took like no casualties. So you've got to look after your cavalry that way, your infantry from cavalry strikes. But I'm going to start pushing up here now. My opponent does make a nice cavalry move. He made some good cavalry moves here where he got some of my infantry, but it wasn't enough because I had my spears backing. Now I thought I could slip my cavalry through here and go and get these missile units. Bearing in mind, you can see these units now at the moment, but during the battle we could not see them. So I thought I could slip through here and perhaps, you know, pin on the front, make some rear charges, get his missile units, see what I could do. But when I was pulling back and just waiting for that opportunity while I rush in my infantry here. But you'll see that what I do with this Tagmata Cav is I run it too close to these guys, not knowing that they were exactly in this location. I honestly thought he was just had more units around, but I didn't know he was exactly where he was. But so you're going to see when I run this cavalry along here, I'm going to lose it because of just not really looking. As you can see, I just take an absolute friggin' shitload of javelins and peeler and all sorts here and just get absolutely creamed, and I didn't really sort of realise, and then I saw this army, I thought, oh crap, and I wanted to try and get into his archer units here, and I ended up just basically losing a Tagmata Cav for nothing, which is not a good thing at all. If we look down here, VegasMcSwagger-Sassanid got involved in the battle here, but his infantry is outclassed by these Thracian Oathworns quite substantially, so he has to use these Gaianas par well, but if we look,
Enemy forces have destroyed
his shock cavalry has lost. These are actually Swedes units, and Swedes is holding his own there, but most of the Sassanid cavalry has not done particularly well in cavalry fights because he didn't bring any melee cav. You really want that melee cav for other cavalry, and then a shock cav for infantry, or rear charges on fixed cavalry or anything like that. It was roughly around this point anyway that VegasMcSwagger actually dropped from the game, so we ended up 3 versus 4. So it's only a matter of time before this Visigoth player kills the Sassanids here. So that's why Swedes is going to start getting aggressive here, and I'm getting aggressive here. If we look, it's quite cool. My Hunnic opponent started putting fire arrows in here, and this is a nice feature in Attila, but he sets the woods on fire, and I was worried because I thought he was going to incinerate my own men as well as my opponents. But it doesn't seem to affect my guys. It might lower their morale a bit, but I don't think it's drastic. But as you can see, the forest is now completely on fire. But I push my guys up here because all those cav charges and strikes I made, and the fact that this guy's so far back means I've got quite a substantial infantry advantage here. So I'm pushing up my armoured Eastern Legio, and I'm going to try and strike through now. Recognising the fact that VegasMcSwagger had dropped and he's going to lose to this Visigoth, his AI army is going to lose to this Visigoth army, I said to Swedes, push up and we'll try and kill this Vandal army. At least I think that's the Vandals. I keep getting them muddled. That's why, and then I sent a couple of cav through this way, and I'm going to start running rear charges so that Swedes wins this infantry fight quickly before all this stuff can come and rear charge Swedes army. All the while, I keep pushing up with my armoured Legio here, and they are rolling over the opponent here. They've fought their way through the woodlands that are now on fire, and they're pushing up here, and they are doing substantial damage here. I'm getting nice cavalry charges into them, using my general here to pick up some kills. The Magister Militum's quite capable at charging and at melee. You've got to be careful though, it is your general, and losing your general is bad. But I'm having good effect. This Frankish army's in quite a lot of chaos and disorder. If I were him, I'd be thoroughly pissed with this Saxon player for not supporting him here. But I recognise that the Saxon player was here, so I decided to pull back. I don't want to go into his zone of influence just yet, and I'll let the Hunnic player skirmish with him for a while. I want to help Swedes and free Swedes up before that Visigoth player can start getting in the way. But we're doing quite well because I've been running multiple rear charges with my Cataphractari and other units like this into the back here while Swede has been fighting on the front. He's also been doing the same. As you can see, the cavalry, the noble Alani cavalry's come over here. The Visigoth player is now free. But he's taken pretty heavy casualties, all things considered. So Swedes and the AI, and when he was there, VegasMcSwagger, they did pretty good to stall him there. But I'm going to quickly abandon. This guy is playing way too, defensively, or way too selfishly, really. So I'm going to send my guys over this way to really speed this up. Now I see these noble Alani cavalry here, and I really want to kill them. So I get my Tagmata cavalry in, because I know my Tagmata cavalry has got bonuses versus other cavalry. So I figure it will do quite well. I want to just try and overwhelm it with numbers here. But these guys, my guys are pretty depleted, while his guys are in pretty strong numbers, and I'm taking javelins. So that's not so great, but I should get my spears over here. It's a mistake on my part. And I'm sending more infantry this way. I really want to win this fight now. Get rid of these guys here so that we will have enough men for that final battle. As you can see, it's just a big grind going on down there, and Swedes is fighting it out with these guys over here. This is where I wish there were different faction colours or banners and stuff, because it can be very hard to tell who the hell is who sometimes. Swedes makes a nice charge with his general there. That should give him the edge. I start pouring infantry into this battle here, try and trap his cavalry in a bogged down melee. I should be able to defeat them that way. I just fight it out with them here. And we're running rear charges with cavalry and picking off whatever we can, and we're doing pretty well all around the place. Our Hunnic allies coming up here. Now, this guy was very new. If his player didn't play sort of so strangely and not back his allies, he really would have struggled. You'll see what I mean later on in the battle. It was very frustrating. I couldn't get him to communicate, and he constantly ends up spending a lot of his time shooting his own guys in the back, because he doesn't use his flexibility and mobility with these horse archers, and he ends up, just stuff like this. If we look at these guys here, if I just bring that up, their own morale is being dropped by his own men, because he keeps shooting them with fire arrows, and he does this constantly through the battle, and it comes in real critical towards the end. But I don't want to give too much away. Over here, me and Swedes teamed up our generals to try and kill off this last cavalry unit of theirs, my Magister Militum and his Comes against that noble Alani Cab. But we're trying to be careful, because his cavalry's extricate itself from here, and he's going to try and kill our generals, and we don't want that, because that would be very critical at this stage, because we still have quite a ways to go yet. But suffice to say, our guys are fighting fairly well, and we're doing a pretty nice job here. Anyway, I managed to extricate my general there, and Swedes does the same. We're trying to run away. Swedes has sent some units to delay here, but these Thracian Oathsworns are really ripping them up. But this one looks like it's got 200 plus kills there. That's some serious kills there by the Visigoth player there. But finally, after pouring on a shitload of infantry, I managed to bog my opponent down enough to hopefully get rid of his damn cav. Now, my general did something weird here. When I used my special ability, he stopped moving. My special ability was brace, so I wanted my guys to brace and hold. And he sort of stopped moving, so I know my general's about to die, so I'm going to make a quick rear charge into these guys here, hopefully turn this fight around in his favour, and then try and push my way through. But his own general and other units are going to get through. I try getting my cav out, but he just died. And that's really worrisome, because I was expecting these guys to seriously consider routing, but they're still pretty fresh in terms of health and stamina and that sort of thing. But I think it was worth that last final charge of my general, because it does turn this final fight that me and Swedes are having here into our favour just in time, because these guys are on our back, about to attack on our back here. Swedes sort of braces with these guys. He's going to try and hold them out, and we have just managed to destroy this. I believe it was the Alani cavalry. And we've managed to destroy, I believe that's the Vandal player. I'll be able to tell at the end with the symbols, I think. We've managed to destroy them here, and this guy's been doing a reasonably okay battle against this guy, but this Saxon player really, if he'd put his guys into this battle, it could have very easily turned against us. So he was a pretty bad ally for his team, in all honesty. It would annoy me if I were playing with an ally who did that. This guy here, for instance, the Hun player, He's done alright so far. He was a bit wasteful at the start. He had these guys here fighting against spearmen for ages and didn't take them out. But you'll see what I mean. He really makes it a lot harder for the team than he needs to, because he doesn't communicate or time his plans or attacks with me and Swedes, because me and Swedes are still alive, and we're still fighting it out here with our heavy infantry here. I'm doing a pretty good job of it too, to be honest. Our guys are fighting pretty hard, and it's a really close battle though, because this guy's got a still full army of elite Nordic warriors, and he's not used them in this fight at all. So it's going to depend a lot on this Hunnic player to play well, because me and Swedes, I've fought two players sort of essentially, this guy over here and this guy over here for a while, and Swedes has also fought two really as well, so we've pretty much spent the vast majority of our units. So we're trying our best to do as much damage as we can, kill off as many of these guys, and look at these Thracian Oathsworns. This one's got nearly 300 kills, so it's obviously a very dangerous unit if it gets a chance to clock kills. Obviously it needs a good charge. Very vulnerable to missile units, so just much like the Thracians from Rome too. But suffice to say, we've managed to get rid of these guys, except for his general, which is the Vandal Warlord. So yes, this player was the Vandals, which I thought. I'm just going to go triple speed. Now, if you guys want to skip ahead, that's fine. I realise listening to me go on and on and on is probably not that enthralling or thrilling. But anyway, yeah, this guy's going to go get rid of his general here with his cav, with his Hunnic Devil cav. And we're going to prepare, rest our guys a bit, although my guys are pretty fresh, to be honest, and they've clocked up some nice kills. 181 for this Eastern Armoured General, 102 there, 114 there, 209 for this Elite Ballistari, the Crossbowmen. If the other two hadn't been lost by the dogs and those cav charges, I'm sure I would have had even more kills. This one here has only got 53, it's actually 118 kills, sorry. It's routing though, you can see it over there, routing, but yeah, we're trying to rest our guys here. But this Hunnic player, you're going to see him make some really glaring errors very, very soon. And it really just drove us quite mad during the battle. It was very frustrating. You'll see what I mean. I was basically like roaring, or not roaring, but I was like cap lock screaming into the chat saying, don't do that, and surround your opponent. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. It's very, very, very annoying to deal with. I mean, I realise with new players you've got to be a bit patient and realise they make mistakes, but this guy he just honestly, I don't know where his logic was. I'm not trying to be mean, it's just, you'll see what I mean very, very soon. And some people, I just don't understand their logic, you know, like, even when I was a new player to like Rome Total War, I was crap, and I know I was, but I still had logic enough to do generally basic things right, you know. And you're going to see this really play into effect in a minute with this Hun guy here. It's a good thing he's got enough men left. But he's still got tons of these UR warriors. Chosen UR warriors, I said, are awesome. You're going to see what I mean very, very soon. So we wanted him to flank around so that he could shoot in the back of these guys. We'd pin on the front and we'd flank around. But he doesn't do it. You'll see what I mean. He brings up his archers here instead, and we charge in, thinking he was going to go round, but he sits here, fire arrows, shooting in here, and he's shooting me. He's actually shooting me. Look, my guy's morale is being dropped, and it's so low already because my general's dead, and my men rout almost immediately. Swedes tried to outflank here, but this guy just ended up shooting me all in the back there, and our guys have just gone like that. I realised they would rout fairly quickly, but that was only because he was actually helping with what he was doing. And he does not move these guys at all. I said to him, you know, your opponent's only got infantry, he's got no cavalry left, so send some of your horse archers out here, some of them over here, some of them here, some of your foot archers here, and just encircle him and shoot him from all sides and all angles, and then pull your infantry on, or pull your infantry on one side and then shoot him from all the other sides so that you're shooting them in the back. And I messaged this to him like 4 or 5 times, and he just like doesn't do anything. He just sits here with his horse archers and fires at his own guys, killing off their morale and causing crap loads of damage. Now, some of the shots are hitting the enemy, but more than half of them are hitting himself, and that is really, really annoying. Because if you look, I mean, half of these guys are hitting these chosen warriors who are losing. And look, he clumps his guys up. Look, his opponent's already clumped, so instead of just clumping your guys up, you know, go around, surround your opponent. He makes some good moves here with his horse archers. He attacks from multiple sides. But if he just surrounded his opponent, these elite Nordic warriors would have routed way quicker. He would have taken way less casualties because all his own units are getting hit by these fire arrows and lowering morale. And it's really bad. And we kept messaging to this guy, and he just wasn't responding. He wasn't listening. And he makes some rare charges here. Swedes was trying to back him up with charges here, but Swedes was worried because he doesn't want his guys getting killed. And this Hunnic player actually kills Swedes general doing this. But yeah, you can look at all his guys here. They are getting shot in the back, and it's not great. It's really bad. At the moment the shots are actually hitting his opponent, so it's not so bad, but he really could have been so much more efficient if he just surrounded everywhere. And I believe I'm pretty sure very soon he's going to be responsible for shooting down Swedes general, which Swedes was like, I know this is going to happen, I know my general's going to get killed by this guy. But it's alright anyway, because this guy's got himself surrounded. And the fire arrows are still hitting this dude as well and lowering his morale. So even though it's very sloppy sort of ending here by the Hunnic player, it's still going to work in our favour. But we were really worried. We were worried about that. And there you go, Swedish general just got killed. Pretty sure he got killed by the arrows, eh? But as you can see, these guys are starting to mass waver because they're surrounded and getting rear charged by cavalry. So it worked out all right in the end, but it was way messier and way less. It should have been a much easier win than that, to be honest. But there you go. That was the 4v4. It was a really nice battle. I really enjoyed this. So if you look at my guys there, I wish I had a calculator right now so I could actually add this. But I believe I had in the vicinity of around 2k of kills again, I think. If you look at my cav here, if you want to add that up, go for it, guys. But if you look, all my infantry, all my sword infantry, it's all 6 of them, got over 100 kills. So they've probably got about 800 to 850 kills between them. And the cavs probably got, I would say, probably a good, about 600-700 with them as well. So yeah, it might have been, actually it might not have been, maybe it was more like 1700. I don't know, it was pretty high. The late 1000s closing on 2000 for me. I did actually add it up the other day, but I can't recall. If we look at Swedes, his cavalry, his shot cav's done alright. His infantry did pretty well. His general did quite nice as well. Look at the Hun player. He actually did pretty good with his cavalry and his archers, and the UR warriors were great, but he just was very, very hard to work with. Very messy there at the end. It was worrisome when we were playing. VegasMcSwagger, his archers, the Kurdish archers, really clocked up kills. This was half the battle though. This was AI controlled, and well, actually some of these guys in Aspar did do pretty well, but probably not enough for what they're capable of. Again, he really should have had a mixture of those in melee cavalry, because it's much more versatile that way. This guy here, Cosmic Vortex, I believe he was the Vandal player. He did pretty nice, actually. I think it was him, or was it this guy? Yeah, actually, it might have been the Visigoth player. Those two were definitely the best players on their team. I felt a wee bit sorry for the Frank player, although he did leave himself exposed to my cavalry charges and my crossbowmen, so I did manage to kill a lot of his infantry before the battle began, and when I charged him I had twice as many infantry, so I sort of rolled over his army pretty quickly. But the Saxon player did not back him up whatsoever. He just sat back in the woods, and that really turned the battle in our favour. Although I consider it kind of even, given that VegasMcSwagger dropped and he was an AI for more than half the battle, so it was kind of more like a 3v3 anyway. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Attila is awesome. These 4v4s are a lot of fun. They don't all lag. Some of them do, some of them don't. It really just depends on people's computers and connections and things. But overall, it runs pretty smooth, and they're pretty epic battles. So if you guys do enjoy this, you can, message me and tell me if you want some more. Leave comments, tell me what you think. I'll link Swede's channel, of course. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon next time.